9 months ago, I started my weight loss journey and took the plunge with Manjaro. Basically, I was 17 stone, which wasn't my heaviest. I think I've nudged up to almost 18 before, but I had quite a fairly active lifestyle, ran a lot, cycled every day to work, but basically my downfall was food. I snacked all the time. I would just binge my food. I'd have, big breakfast. Then, let's have something in between. Let's have a snack. Let's have a lunch. Let's get some more chocolate. Let's get some, a pasty or whatever it was. And there was no way that I was going to be able to avoid putting on weight. So I got to 17 stone at that time. I had been heavier, but November 2024, 17 stone. Read up about Manjaro, saw a lot about it, and thought, hey, let's take the plunge. So I did it privately, which meant I pay for my prescriptions, get my drugs delivered in the post, and yeah, it started from there. I thought, let's give it 1 month. It's quite a lot of money, but I'll try it and I'll see what happens. And it was instant. I kind of I didn't realise I had it, but what we call food noise, that constant wanting to eat, basically disappeared almost instantly. How much of that is, in the mind? How much of it is actual physical reaction to the drugs? Not sure within that such a short time frame, but it worked, and I've dropped the weight. So I started off at 238 pounds, and which is 17 stone, and now I am a smidge over 12 stone too, so 170 pounds. Yeah, so that's 68 pounds lost in 9 months. Quite a large bulk of that was actually within the first 4 to 5 months, and then my graph has kind of gone big drop, and then it's just evened out a little bit more, but still losing weight. Part of that's intentional. I've spoke before about trying to be in maintenance, and I don't want to lose too much weight, although apparently I can kind of not try and it still loses a little bit. So I've been really kind of lucky in that part of things. But I guess the weight is one thing. My BMI was around 35.8, and now it is 25.3. I'm 0.3 of reaching what they term acceptable, and will no longer be overweight. And I remember looking back when I went from obese, and I managed to just purely be overweight, and if I lose, probably those couple of pounds, then I'll technically be normal and acceptable. But hey, it's BMI, which is kind of slightly flawed, but that's worked out great. My body fat has gone down. That was around 35% body fat. Now I'm at 26%, which again is still obese. I think 1 more percent and I will be acceptable, which is crappy phrases really to be using, but that's what my my scales app tells me I am. Recently I had some memories come up on my photos on my phone, and I saw some pictures and I was like, no, I wasn't that fat, I wasn't that overweight, but apparently I was, and it's kind of weird. Like, this is how I feel now. I guess you always feel yourself, don't you? You don't kind of feel like that's your identity. So my identity was this overweight person who was, happy, didn't really let it get in the way of anything, but mentally it probably did a little. And yeah, these photos kind of reminded me, and I had a look at some of the videos that I did. So I've been doing this vlogging basically from day one. So I'm going to overlay a few of the videos to kind of see how we go. But I just thought it would be a really good way to keep a record of my progression, but also just to keep me honest. So I really felt like every week I kind of wanted to bring some good news. I've had some ups and downs. I've been brutally honest about times when, yeah, I've kind of had a relapse or something like that. There haven't been many, but they do happen. And do you know what? It really doesn't make too much of a difference. An episode here, an episode there, where you know you kind of have a bit too much to eat. Or the other day I was kind of full, but do you know what? I just kind of fancied a bit more. Maybe there was still some kind of emotional stuff going on, but here we go. So I've kind of put these in on monthly intervals, so let's roll on and see how I have progressed. And you never know, I might put a bit of background music on here. So would I recommend weight loss injections? Yes, 100%. It's crazy actually how many people are taking these. I saw some acquaintances the other day. I said, "Oh, you're looking good," and they were like, "Same as you, mate. I've been on the Manjaro, and it's been amazing." And whilst prices are going up for Manjaro, it's still a real balance of whether I would be able to repeat what I've done so far. Going from 150 quid a month or whatever ballpark, an average, to going to 300 quid a month or something is crazy. I say you can't put a price on your health, but if you haven't got the money, you are not going to be able to afford it. I've been privileged enough to be able to do that, but I'm not rich or anything. I was like, yeah, this is it. But now that the increases are coming in, I am definitely tapering off of the Manjaro, which I'd already planned to do and already started. So I'm on the 10 milligram dose at the moment, and I'm going to see about dropping that down. The only issue is I have noticed a little bit more food noise kind of creep in as I've come down off the dose. Not too bad again beginning of the week, but the last day or two it kicks in, and I do want to eat a little bit more. But maybe that's my mind playing games with me, because I reckon it's always been like that. I think when you get to the end of the week and it's time to have another jab, I'm generally a little bit hungrier then anyway. As long as you're aware about it, and it's just one day, then it's fine. But I don't think I'm going to be able to carry on with Manjaro. MedExpress, who are my kind of online pharmacy, have told people that if they can't afford that, they can always think about switching over to Wegovy, which is less effective than Manjaro. It's still got that GLP-1 where it stops the food noise, but I don't think it has the one where you feel kind of full as long and it slows your digestion down. So that'll be one aspect that will kind of be a little bit different, but I'll see how I can go normally, just dropping down. I've still been able to get another pen at the current price, I might be able to afford another couple at the new price, and start doing that, stepping down on it. But if I start feeling that I still need some support, then maybe I will look at that. That would go the option, or something else. But I've got to a good weight, so about 170 pounds, where I feel like I've got a bit of wiggle room. If I start putting on a little bit more weight, I can check myself and see about doing a calorie controlled week, which is what I've done previously when I've kind of felt myself slipping a little bit. I've gone back to tracking on MyFitnessPal, logging my food, and it seems to just be a really, really good reset. All right, well, that's it, really. I think it's been a great 9 months of being able to lose weight, and now I feel like I'm at the destination, and I need to think about what I'm going to do with this kind of newfound, I'm going to say body, but kind of like the ability to not have any excuses anymore. I love running, and I have signed up for a few competitions. I've got a 10k coming up in about 6 weeks, and I'm going to see if I can do some training before then to try and get a little bit of speed back. And then in 6 months, I'm going to try and do a 50-mile race as well, a backyard ultra, and try and clock that up as well. So that'll be a real target for me to aim for. And I haven't got weight as an excuse. I've hopefully got fewer kind of mental issues, worries as an excuse too, although hey, there's loads of other stuff going on, but I know that's the case for a lot of people out there. But we'll see how that goes. And I need a new wardrobe. I've still got some like double XL t-shirts that I chuck on and are really baggy, and I've got what have I got on now? I've got like that's not going the wrong way. I've got like a large on, I think, and I've still got loads of slack on here. So yeah, that's that. Let's see if I can get a me shot so you can see what I actually look like and not just my head. Okay, so this is me now after 9 months on Manjaro, and feeling all right. I've got not much of a stomach on there anymore, and yeah, I'm kind of feeling that I'm shaping out a little better. There's always, do you know what? There's always going to be a bit of wobble. There's always going to be a bit of wobble here, but it's gradually going. So, if you've got any questions, just ask them below, and I'll try and help. And maybe you'll kind of see fewer Manjaro posts on here, and maybe a little bit more about my running and how to continue life stepping down off Manjaro and trying to just control things. But do you know what? I don't know what the future's got in store, and we'll just keep chatting. All right, see you later. Bye.